In what type of computing model is HTTP used? Client server. Yeah, client server. Describe the steps involved in HTTP when a user views a web page using a web browser. Alright, step 1, client sends a request to the server. Right, after you send the request to the server, check to see if the result is available. 3, it sends an acknowledgement along with the HTML code/file, and 4, the web browser renders the HTML code on the screen. Yeah, so you send a request, you check for the request, you respond to the request, and then you display it on the screen. Alright, an e-commerce site can be accessed via the following URLs. What URL would be preferred? Well, the one with the S, of course. HTTP as the second one because it uses HTTPS, which means it is secure using SSL. The traffic is encrypted. So sensitive data cannot be intercepted. Okay. What is the relationship between a process and a process control block? Wow, that is a weird one. A process is executed by the CPU. The process control block holds data about the state of the process. Well, you can't say too much about that. Like, what are you really asking? This is the 5 possible states of a process. Alright, you could have created, ready, waiting, block, and destroy. Yeah, those would be your 5 states. Define paging. Okay, paging is a technique where memory and processes are in frame and block frames and blocks. They are matched to each other virtually with a page file managing the allocation of physical memory. Okay, I'll give some more space for that one, but okay. And then they gave four lines to define thrashing, boy. Find it could have given more space to define the virtual paging. Thrashing is the CPU spending more time swapping between the physical memory and the hard drive instead of running current processes. Yeah, that's good. There are 2 possible consequences of thrashing. One will be overheating of the hard drive due to excessive storage swapping, and 2 will be slow processing because the CPU is always preoccupied. If one reason why thrashing might occur, the physical memory is too small and the virtual memory is too large. Yeah, basically, if the virtual memory too big, the physical memory just wouldn't be able to keep up with what the virtual memory trying to store. Good. Number 6. Your friend uses a desktop computer connected directly to his modem, which is in turn connected to the internet service provider via cable. He has recently purchased a laptop and smartphone and would like to connect the internet using these devices as well. With the use of a clearly labeled diagram, explain what additional device he will need, the purpose of the device, and how all devices will be connected. Well, let's just write down first. He needs an access point. An access point. The pass-based access point that would be able to broadcast a wireless radio wave signal that the devices would be able to pick up with their antenna. Okay, so we want to show all devices will be connected. So we have the ISP, which is like the cloud. ISP will reach to the modem. Then the modem, he recently purchased a laptop or something. But we hoping you have a switch. I mean, if you don't have a switch, what are you doing? A switch or a router, right? Because you must have a switch or a router, and then you have an access point. The access point will send the wireless signals out, and then the cell phone will send a smaller set of signals out to catch it. We had to show that his computer connected to this diagram getting complicated, but yeah. Basically what they wanted to say is the access point, because they want to show that he could connect his laptop and his smartphone. Laptop and smartphones, they're using Wi-Fi, so you had to show that. But they must have a switch or a router to be able to connect the computer physically and then connect the access point. 6 marks, but that's plenty. Okay, because they want to know what additional device. The access point is definitely the device, but you need a switch and a router. A switch or a router to connect, because a modem can have two connections. The modem is only have 1 connection most of the time. So, alright, in addition here, just like to copy files on your laptop to the desktop directly and vice versa without the use of the internet or secondary storage media. Identify what type of device is needed. You what? You like to copy files on your laptop to the desktop directly and vice versa without the use of internet or secondary storage media. A router. Yeah. Oh, okay, so they're showing that you need the router because the router is what will be able to give you the IP address that will be able to connect the information, connect the stuff. I describe the functions of the 3 layers at the bottom layer of the OSI model. At the bottom layer. Alright, so that's P for physical. Please do not data link. Touch. Alright, touch, yes. Transport. Alright, so the physical layer converts electrical signal to bits for easy decoding or transfer. Data link groups bits into frame or packet so they can be easily transported. Transport layer will assign. No, this is not the transport layer, this is the network layer. Please do not. Network layer. Right. So the network layer assigns an address that can be logically found. Example, IP address. So that's a logical address. So as years went by, they started to get smarter with these questions too, and they realized, okay, 3 layers at the bottom of the OSI model. That way, but before they used to ask the first 5 layers or the first 2 layers and whatnot, and everybody used to be like, is it first from the top or first from the bottom? So this was clearly seen from the bottom. Which standard suffers from more interference, 802.11a or 802.11b? The interference would be the one that uses the 5 kilohertz. So 802.11b suffers more because it uses the 5 gigahertz wavelength that made it more susceptible to being blocked or impeded by wall and other solid objects. Describe spooling with the aid of appropriate example. Okay, spooling is the process of a printer driver receiving a print job and breaking it down into smaller manageable jobs so that the printer can print. I think you have 3 marks over. I think that's 3 marks. Breaking the driver is 1 mark, receiving a big job is the next mark, breaking down into smaller manageable one. Let me see what's our description is. Let me see what the examiner's report said. The description of spooling as a strategy that uses temporary surge interface processes with a high output rate to process with a lower rate divided by less than a third of the time. Okay, yeah. There are several workstations on a bus network. Device A sends a message to device B. Describe how the message is sent from device A to device B, clearly stating how the other workstations are affected. On a bus network, messages are broadcast on the network, broadcast to all devices on the network. Device B will get the message, but all the other devices will also get a message coming to them also. That's clearly stating if the other workstations are affected. Yeah, pretty much. So B will get it. We did share, like, they want you to show that, that a broadcast is what happens on our bus network. Broadcast is the keyword there. Device B gets the stuff, all the others get it because they are on the net, on the same line. Give 2 disadvantages of bus network. Okay, 2 disadvantages of the bus network would be 1, if the line breaks, many workstations would be affected, and 2, it is difficult to find where the break in the line may be because of network isolation. It's only 2 marks, so you don't have to put it because of network isolation, but that would be cool. And that will be 2017.